Shirt Show. All right, let's go.
Shirt Show! Talking shirt! Shirt Show! Talking shirt! Shirt Show! Talking shirt! Shirt Show! Shirt, man!
All right! Episode 208 of Shirt Show. We're talking with Eddy from the Gator Studios in Illinois. Let's go!
There's the big dog.
Hey, Boo.
How's it going?
Really, really good. I'm going to see you tomorrow, I think.
I know. I'm going to be sleeping in your bed tomorrow.
No, that's not exactly true. That's partially true.
That is true. You own it.
I do, but you implied like you're sleeping in the bed with me. People will think that.
That's true.
That actually, if you really want to keep it real, I invited you. You were stuck without a bed about a week or two, or when was it? 2 weeks? I don't know when it was. It's a blur. But I was like, bro, look, it's a giant king size bed. In fact, I think it's like a California king, they call it. You're welcome to sleep right there. I know you don't have a bed. And you're like, no, it's good. I'll find somewhere, as if you were like going to sleep on the lawn. You wouldn't even care. Like you wouldn't even share a bed with me. Yeah. And that's fine. That's fine. My feelings weren't hurt at all. But you ended up sleeping in the whiskey room, which I jokingly said on a podcast that I think came out a few days ago. I jokingly said, you remember that sign that was above there? Like, bad, wrong decisions make better stories. And I was joking when I said, that's going to be your bedroom. And what you didn't know is I foresaw the future. Like I was like a fortune. I was what do they call them? There's a word.
Wiccan?
No, I was trying to think of like the name of it. When they don't call them like
asshole.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you won't be sleeping, or you will be sleeping in my bed. True. Right. I just finished an interview with someone whose name was Dylan, and when he got here, I was like, strike one, bro. That's first strike. So you better.
Wild card.
You're on thin ice right now already, and we just are shaking hands.
How does he spell his name though?
Like you. Dilly.
Right. Can't call him that. That's cheating.
Yeah. No, he spells it like you. D-Y. So many people spell your name D-I-L-L.
L-L-O-N.
Yeah, like I see that a lot in our messages.
Those people are assholes.
No, they're nice people. They just, you can't spell check people's names. It's hard. It's hard to do that.
That's a dumb way to do it.
Mm-hmm. So yesterday, a very significant event occurred. I graduated physical therapy.
Really?
You're looking at him. You want to see my back? Want me to pull up my shirt?
Perfect specimen.
Yeah, like that spine is like brand new.
I mean, I saw you play basketball and pickleball, and traverse rocks. So you're basically a new man.
Yeah, and basketball, like I held a basketball.
Right.
And I bounced it.
You shot some hoops.
I did. I made a couple baskets. But yeah, graduated PT. I scored a 14, which is pretty dang good. It says 1,000.
I was going to say out of 100.
Lowest scores the better, like golf. So,
okay.
Yeah, so like it's a good score, and I was released into the world.
Not that we have to get into this too much, but is this something where you're done with them, but you have to continue doing
yes,
stretches and all that shit at home?
Yeah, so I don't have to, but I mean, I did it before and I'm going to, I've got to keep my figure. I got to have that beach bod.
Right. Hardcore.
And so yeah, no, but for real, I do it every other day. I go through all the exercises so that it supports my spine, and it's not that hard. I mean, it takes like 40 minutes maybe or something like that. So I like doing it.
Nice.
Yeah. So the last time you were in town, and now actually like every time, pretty much you've been in town. We've never really like gone and done the tourist St. Louis things. And it's more just like you get here and, you know, we just party like nonstop, basically. Just a lot of partying. Yeah. You know, if we're taking it easy, if it's like a mild night, we're like, you know, maybe some Coke, but then we get like a little bit more wild. But I would say that we've missed a lot of St. Louis attractions. And so what you're going to get this time is the full tour. So
the full package.
You know, like I hope that you get some rest.
So I'm going to get carjacked. That's all I've ever heard you say about St. Louis is that do not go there. You will get carjacked.
No, I say this, like people say, you know, like that about other cities to me. They're like, hey, you know, watch out, you know, like, cause you could get carjacked and stuff like that. I'm like, hold my beer. Like I'm from St. Louis, you know, don't worry about it. I'll be fine. Right. And that's me just acting because honestly, I would just give them my car. Like if they wanted to take my car, I just say, take it.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
It's insured. So, I mean, yeah, thank you. Please don't shoot me. It's yours. Take it. Do whatever you want with it.
Please don't.
It's a car. Like, what am I going to risk my life over? Anything like that?
It's funny. Last weekend, my daughter was going to New York City to go to Broadway with her drama club, and they were going to watch some play or whatever. And I took her to the house to get her backpack so she could carry like water and whatever else she needed. And I was waiting in the car, and like 10 minutes go by and she never came out. I was like, what the hell is she doing? I go in there. She was just crying on her bed. I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, I can't find my like cinch bag backpack because the teacher said that if I don't bring that bag and I bring a regular bag with zippers, people will rob me. I'm like, honey, no, like it's not just everyone's not just robbing everybody. Like you will be fine with a regular backpack. But she was like straight up like concerned and scared that she was going to get robbed if she brought like a regular backpack. I was like, these are people that live in a village of 900 people that are terrified of like populated areas. Like, once you go to these places, you realize they're wonderful.
They are. I mean, stuff does happen. There is crime.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely shitty things, but
so
it's not I get as scary as you make it out to be.
I always thought, you know, like when I had when my son was really young, I jokingly used to think and say to my friends, be like, wouldn't it be so cool if we trained him to be like the world's best assassin, you know, or like the world's like most awesome badass. And you could start like at a very young age, you know, just to train them so that, you know, when they're like 10, they're already prepared, you know, they're fully ready. So like if he was carjacked or not carjacked, but if he had a cinch bag or whatever it was, or a zippered backpack and he was in New York and somebody tried at 10, like he would just murder
him. Strangle him to death with it.
Yeah. He would like,
you ever see that movie, The Accountant with Ben Affleck?
Yeah. It's a good one.
It's basically that. His whole life, he was trained to be an assassin.
Okay. Even you mean at a young age when he was a kid?
Yeah, like his whole life, basically.
I don't remember
his
that.
Dad was a military man, and he had two brothers, and the mom like cheated on him and left, and it was just the dad and the kids. Yeah, and he just trained them to be fucking badasses. Like he would like go under underpasses and be like, "Go fight those kids over there. Get out of my car." And like
that's cool. Yeah, my dad, my stepdad did that to me, and you see how I turned out.
Right.
Like no
Here's
joke.
My car, sir. Take it.
No joke. There was I got in a scuffle with this kid it was like 6th grade. His name was Donnie Fandry. It was my first like fight, and it was like barely that. Just that name, yeah, Donnie, whatever. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm kidding. That was the reason. I was like, I don't like your name.
Yeah.
We're fighting.
The back of his knees
so no, really, we got in this fight. I think it was over a girl, and so I remember we got in the scuffle, and I got a 1 day like in trouble in school, like suspension type of thing, like in school where I had to go to I don't want to say they sent me to like a lower grade. I hated that part. I ran away from school, but that's a different story. But anyway, when I got home, we didn't end up fighting, but my stepdad found out, you know, it was like, oh, you got in a scuffle with this kid. He called Donnie's dad and said, hey, my kid and your kid have beef, and they're going to fight. And so I'll be over there in like an hour or whatever, you know, to fight. Like he was trying to arrange us a fight. And I'm like, no, like, no.
As one does.
You know,
That's a good dad right there.
Anyway, Donnie's dad was smart and said, huh? It's like, no, we're not, my kid, we're not arranging a fight. It's not going to work like that.
Awesome.
So
that would have been a way better story if you went over there and you kicked your ass.
I know. I remember what happened is the teacher, because we got in that fight, the teacher said, hey, you got to go into like first grade. Since you're acting like first graders, you have to sit in the first grade class. And so she took me and Donnie down there and we were getting ready to walk in and I fucking dipped. Like I got my coat, it was cold, and I ran away from school and went home.
What a badass.
I was like, I'm not going to the first grade. You know,
went home and pounded a wine cooler.
That's right. And then when I finally got home, there was police already there and they said, hey, come with me. And so I was like busted. But guess what? The teacher apologized to me and said, you know, you are in trouble, but you don't have to go to first grade. That was a wrong punishment. And so I got in trouble. Like, I can't remember what it was, but I didn't have to sit in first grade. Mm-hmm. You know, like that's, I guess it'd be sort of like, there's a movie with Adam Sandler. What's it? That he has to go back in grades. Billy Madison, right? Yeah. So like that, if I had seen that movie already, then I would have done it differently. I would have been like, okay, I'm going to first grade. Yeah. And I would have dunked on the kids, you know, and stuff.
All the things.
All right. Okay. It all starts with the screen, and whether it's new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. To find out more, go to graphicscreenfashion.com, FFFFF.
Rank.com.
Or
greatfuckingscreens.com.
We are using EasyWay 401 for cleaning our squeegees and our floods, but basically our squeegees because it is a non-abrasive, non-sweller. I'm sure that's a scientific name.
That's what they call you.
That's what they call me. And that's what they call this chemical. It will not swell your squeegees, which is, I mean, you don't want that. You don't want that. You want them to
hard and stiff, not swollen and floppy.
Exactly. So check it out. EasyWay 401. Easy way.
It's the easiest way, baby.
Yeah. See, so you finish my sentences. That's how we do it.
Baby.
GraphX is the source for production-ready digital art and remote art staffing. We use them every single day. Learn more at graphxsource.com. Choosing the right emulsion for your shop is complicated, and that's why we love Chromaline. Go to chromaline.com to watch Kev's vids or contact him on Instagram at the Emulsion Guru and get the answers you
really, really want.
Dude, your headwear is sick.
I really like the apparel that you have on.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, this is super comfortable apparel. It's my favorite apparel.
Got it at, where did you get that at?
I got this at SNS, of course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was actually, no joke, I was on SNS this morning looking at those like beach hoods where it's basically like a t-shirt with a hood.
I know you like those right now because the sun is not your friend. And you haven't heard of sunscreen. You don't know. There's a product out there called sunscreen, and you spray it on your body, and then sunscreen, it's called.
It's garbage. It doesn't work. Did you see Matt Marcotte's chest? Obviously, he tried it and it didn't work out well for him either.
Matt Marcotte sprayed, or like he went like this. I think he used lotion and he went like this in one spot. I don't know if he knows.
And then he had this like burnt state outline on his chest where he didn't lotion up.
Does he not like he has trouble like lifing and doing stuff, doesn't he?
No.
He's really good like it like
he probably incredibly it off.
I think that's very common amongst geniuses, you know, like they're really, really smart with this kind of stuff, but they can't do like everyday stuff. Like he can't function.
Matt's sleeper smart. Like if you looked at him, you'd be like, I bet he can barely read. But he's actually really smart.
Man, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Yeah, so check out ssactivewear.com. Want to talk about Gildan? Gildan?
I have something written up.
Good.
Andy, today's episode is sponsored by the OG of the shirt game, American Apparel, the original go-to tee of the industry, the original premium tee that has inspired all others. The 2001 has been copied and ripped off so many times that I can't keep track anymore. AA is back, baby. Make American Apparel your go-to for premium blanks.
Fuck, you like killed it. Killed it.
Fuck yeah. Destroyed.
Yeah.
It's true, though.
Good
It's
job.
a great shirt.
I like it. It is. It's a nice shirt.
The original.
And of course, we have Screen Print GPT, and you definitely need to sign up for this free, you know what I'm going to call it? Problem solver. You like that?
Mm-hmm. Who we
Hear
got
me?
today, bud?
Dylan, my guy, we are talking shop today with Eddy from Gator Studios. I think it's somewhere in Chicago. We'll find out, but it's like a Chicago area shop.
There
There he
he
is.
is. Look at that handsome man.
How's the week going for you guys?
Pretty good. My last couple of weeks have been a blur, and my next couple of weeks are going to be even blurrier because I've been traveling nonstop. So,
Traveling.
yeah, now I'm here in Florida, and then we leave for St. Louis to see Andy tomorrow, and then I don't fly home till Sunday, and then back at it for a few days, and then to Disney with my kids, and then to Vegas, and then
Dylan,
so
how
on.
do you, so when Joe and I go, if we're going anywhere, and if we're going for 1 day or if we're going for 30 days, like I pack the same amount, basically. Like I have one suitcase. That's all I have.
Same.
And it's a carry-on.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if I'm going for a month, I still only bring that one suitcase. Is that what you do?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I just wear the same outfit every day. One pair of pants.
Yeah.
It's all good. No, yeah, I generally pack light. I probably do, I don't know, like 4 or 5. I say outfits, but it's just like shorts or pants and t-shirts, and that's it.
2 shoes or
One
one?
activity.
I usually don't pack anything other than what I have on my feet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't bring extra shoes.
Okay. Well, for
Wasn't
sure.
flip-flopping.
Yeah. Flip flops and one gym shoes. Definitely.
Yeah. So Andy was trying to figure out where you were from. Where are you?
So we're right outside of Chicago. Originally, when I started, my girlfriend and I were living downtown. We started the business downtown. Rent in downtown Chicago, absolutely crazy. So we moved out. We're like about 40 minutes southwest, about 20 minutes from M&R, actually.
That's close.
Yeah, real close.
Yeah.
Kind of nice. Multi-craft is close. GSF is close. So it kind of hit everybody, in one route if I really needed to in the morning. SNS is 5 minutes away.
Damn. Do you have like a cargo van that you can just like go do pickups once a week, or do you?
We have the truck. Yeah. We almost go every morning right now. We're pretty busy. So it's like every morning we're picking up a couple hundred shirts and bring them to the shop and just going through it.
We kind of did that a little bit when I was in Atlanta. TSC was real close to where we were, so we could go pick up, but we only really picked up when it was something that was like a rush order. And it was like, oh, it'd be a lot faster for us to go get these today than to wait another day or 2 days or whatever it was.
Did they do like speedy ground for you, or is it like always UPS?
I think it was always UPS.
Okay.
But like I said, we could put in a quick order and just go pick it up with a van if we had to.
So,
We have
yeah,
speedy option.
really, yeah.
The bummer about the speedy option, it's good and bad. It only is an option when you choose the Chicago location. If we're like shipping here from Kansas City or something, that is even an option. But speedy doesn't come at a certain time. And so like if you're wanting your shirts, let's say if I wanted some shirts tomorrow, I know if it's UPS ground, I get it at 10 o'clock, roughly, give or take, 20 minutes. But speedy could show up at like 4 o'clock. And so that's
Because it's just someone in a van, right?
yeah. But
Yep.
there's no real schedule.
I think we've gotten one like as late as like 6:30 or 7 p.m. before.
I was going to say, I feel like I've gotten something like that before. And it was just some lady who rented a van. Like it was she was like freelanced for whatever shipping and just got, I think it's called like laser ship or something.
Laser?
You know what I'm talking about? Do you have that as an option? I think
I
it's
think
SNS or Broder has a laser ship as an option. And we would get it, and it was just like a lady. I don't know. I live in the middle of nowhere, so it's probably not the same for you guys. So.
Yeah. Alpha's really close too. So it's, same thing. Like a lot of times it's just sometimes easier just to do will call. It just depends on what's going on here. Because then if we want to pump it fast, we can. So if it's like an easy one color, We'll slip it in for somebody. That's when it's really nice. You don't have to wait for shipping or anything.
I feel like I'm super jealous of that because there's so many orders that we've had to turn down in our existence because of things that we could have fixed if we could have just drove over there and got something like supplies or teas or, certain screens from Frank or a part for a press from M&R. Like you're fucking right there for all of those things. Like you have no excuse. You have no excuse to not have the best turnaround and the best option.
Oh, I try. Right now, we just got probably pushed back to like 10 days, but I try to always keep it 5 or under, but we're just 2 people with 2 part-time people. So
when we first started out of the garage, we weren't on, I didn't even know there was such thing as like free shipping. We didn't have any sort of credit. And so we were like pay it pickup and, like we couldn't just take shirts on terms or anything. And so we would, and there used to be it was called St. Louis Teas, and they were bought by like Broder Brother or something like that eventually. But there used to be this place called St. Louis Teas. And so we would order sort of like you were talking about for our jobs, for that day or whatever. And I had a Ford Explorer at the time, which I love and miss. I loved and miss, but
in the back.
Dude, we would go
those were prone to roll over. Remember when those got like recalled?
I never rolled mine. But we would show up and we would order sometimes so many that we'd be in the parking lot at their dock, breaking down boxes, like taking shirts out of the boxes and just like squishing them into the back, however we could. And just loading up.
Sort probably when you get back.
I always wanted to sort. Plus I had my kid in like a car seat and I would like pile him on top of him. I'd be like, too bad. And these are going on your lap, but like here you go. So we were putting him to work at like age 2. He was holding boxes or shirts, but it's like, we would, and also like like I said, we weren't on terms. And so like we would take an order for, let's say 200 shirts. We would have to pay money like out of our pockets for those 200 shirts or hoodies or whatever they were. And back then we weren't even prepay. So like sometimes we would do orders for people. And then we would buy the shirts, print the shirts, deliver the shirts because we were out of our garage. We didn't want them coming by our house. So we'd deliver the shirts, crossing our fingers that they would pay us. Like when we got there, the person that write the checks, like, oh, they're gone. They'll be back like in a couple of days or whatever. We're like, And so we like have to buy the shirts for the next order. And we didn't have the money from that order. You know what I mean? So it was tough.
Yeah, starting up in the garage is always rough. I went through it too. We were manually printing for about a year in my garage before we got the Volt, and big difference. Now people could come here. We're on 3 acres. Like you can come here. We call it like the swamp. We have a retention pond next door. We're just secretly going to let like alligators loose into the pond.
Is that why you're called Gator?
I used to have a business partner with my brand, and it was his idea to start this company, actually. It just changed, and I pushed it towards shirts. And originally we were embroidery and vinyl, and I pushed it towards shirts. He didn't see it as shirts, and he left the company and started his own business, a plumbing business, actually.
I was going to say, did he do embroidery and vinyl? He went straight to plumbing.
He did do embroidery. He was a plumber before, and it was like the market was a little weird. And when COVID started, trucking was also weird. And that's what I owned before. I was an owner-operator truck driver. So I was looking for something else to generate income. I was in rental cars on Turo for a bit, just bouncing around wherever I could invest.
I didn't know Turo existed until like 3 days ago. And then Christina told me, oh, you should use Turo because I needed to get a car at the airport at like midnight last night. And it's been really good. Like I didn't even know this existed. Like you're basically, it's like Airbnb for cars. Like you're just renting someone's car for the day.
Yeah, they have to keep it to like a good standard for the most part too.
Yeah.
And so
this was like a almost brand new Tesla Y. So yeah, it was super nice when I got in. It's been great so far. I mean, I like using that app. So
easy to use too. Yeah. Some of the owners will come. If you're ever in Chicago, we have like 56 cars like on Turo. So just text me, man. We'll give you a car. Get you situated.
Awesome.
So I have a question first. Smokey and the Bandit Smokey and the Bandit is one of my favorite movies all time. You said you were a truck, like you had your own truck, right? You're over the road.
Yes. Yeah,
so did you ever get involved in a convoy of any sort?
When I was in the Army, that was like when we would do convoys. We did convoy missions, like recovery missions, things like that. Not so much like in the civilian side, no.
I've always wanted to be in a convoy.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah, like especially we've like done a lot of things. We go to Springfield a lot. Like when I was like towards the end of my contract, so we'd go from Chicago, we'd move some trucks to Springfield, Illinois, and that was always pretty cool. You see all like the civilians staring at your trucks, and you know if you have like anything like mounted, they're always like trying to see like, hey, do you have a 50 cal mounted, or you know that's what they're looking for. They're just like, you know, what do they have in there?
Yeah, you kind of had a different start. Can you kind of go through that real quick? And like, you were a truck driver, you were in the military, it seemed like you did a bunch of things, apparently Turo as well.
Yeah, I was just bouncing around trying to find my calling. But yeah, I started right out of high school, left, joined the military, got out in 2016, started trucking. My military driver's license converted to a civilian Class A. So I was able to get an immediate CDL to drive the big wheel, 18-wheelers.
That's awesome.
So that was pretty cool. And, you know, from that time until COVID, trucking was great. You know, there's a lot of money in it. There was no e-logs yet, so you can kind of like, you could work extra hours. Right now it's so governed, like you can't really do too much. They always have the GPS trackers in, you know, they have temperature sensors. Every time you stop, they know, you know, so... During COVID, though, a lot of what happened is a lot of the loads started getting bought up by big like logistics company, and then they bid them out to the drivers for the lowest bid. So we were looking for something new, and then my buddy wanted to start an embroidery vinyl business. We had we have a motorcycle group. We started right at the end of the military. He's a veteran also, so we started something called Chicago United Riders. And that's pretty cool. Like we do a lot of riding. The videos you see of the guys doing wheelies down the highway, you've probably seen me a couple times. So building a brand was really fun. You know, but you have to be a big brand to make it anything full time. So we were just keep pushing. And
so is that what the embroidery and vinyl was for? Was for the motorcycle
originally? Yeah, we wanted to bring things in house.
See, that makes a lot more sense. To just be like, I want to do these two things specifically.
I didn't pick the business. I gave my partner a number, you know, and this is how much we have. Let's start this up. And we ended up with like a Roland, like a large format printer, 2 Melcos and like a couple heat presses, you know, some basic stuff. We went to DTG after. That went really bad. And then screen printing.
Why did that go really bad?
The costs, you know, I never really started too small. Like my first screen print order my first shirt order was 150 pieces front and back. So from there, it just kind of like, hey, you could do 30 shirts an hour on this DTG machine. And, you know, no one tells you that the cartridges cost hundreds of dollars and it's slow. There's pre-treating. And I guess I didn't do enough research into it. I was just trying to grow with the business. And that's all it was, just riding the waves. It pushed me into shirts, and that was the best thing about DTG. It brought me to the T-shirt side of it.
Funny, we were talking about that in our meeting this week, where we were talking about getting into different patches and whatever. And one of the girls that works for me was like, "How many do you want to get? What do you want to do?" I was like, "You know what? Like, it's an investment to learn, good or bad, if we go this route, because it's not something we've done before." So I just said, fuck it, like buy this amount. This is what we're going to do. And worst case scenario, I learn a lesson to like not do that again.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what you're doing. I mean, you're getting at least your foot wet in the industry of printing shirts. And now, you know, I definitely don't want to fucking go this way. Like I want to go this way. But again, if you didn't get your foot wet, would you even be here? Yeah.
No way. That's right about when I started tuning into your podcast. the guy who sold me the DTG worked for Grimco. So he was like, listen to the shirt show, you know, plug it right in. And so that's when we were listening to it. And then like you guys were like trash talking DTG or something like that. Like in like one of the episodes, like not like, you know, bad, but like, yeah, like, oh yeah, why would you do it if you could screen print though? And I'm like, well, it sounds like that's where I need to go. And so that's where I'm like, okay, this makes a lot more sense cost wise and like for the volume that we were doing.
Right. So what did you start off with then?
I started with a Riley 150, screenprinting.com, like looking at screen printing stuff, like screenprinting.com was the easiest thing. It was the first thing that popped up. Then we went to the Anadol Thunder. That was like a really good experience. It was a good press. And then we went to the Volts and we had some stuff happen, but it's figured out now, you know, we're printing. That's all we could have asked for.
How do you feel about the Volt?
The press is great. Right now, like we've have it pretty dialed in. Like most of the time our registration is pretty good. You know, I was asked about that earlier, but we do use like their version of Tri-Lock. So we're on courier sheets and we have like the only thing I don't like is they have manual clamps for the screen.
Right. Yeah. That's always been nothing against Anatol, but that's always been my like, that doesn't seem to work for me. It's just like a pressure lever, basically.
Exactly.
Like it seems like it's going to move the screen or it's not going to hold firmly or something.
If you're trying to do no registration, like it's so hard, you know, if you're trying to do that. I don't know if I asked my salesperson directly. I asked if anyone has got the Army system to work without any registration marks yet on like a 6-color plus job. He told me no. So I don't know if it's from the clamps yet. You know, I think I've seen.
I can't say. I've never actually used it, so I can't say good or bad. I just seeing him at the shows. That was the one thing I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but
you know, Tri-Lock.
I'm sure there's people who use it all day long.
I should say registration systems in general. When you're chasing down, like, why isn't it working? It can be so many things, and so we recently. So we have. Interestingly, we have two presses that have different systems. And so we have a TSC on one of our presses, which means it's tri-sync equipped, and it uses a different Tri-Lock pallet and a different print arm and or pallet arm, I should say, than our other press right next to it. And our OG press Cobra would lock all the time. It's great. 90% of the time or whatever, we're locking in. We maybe reg. Yeah. It's great. The TSC, which is supposed to lock in better, was actually worse. Oh. And we're like, wait, what's going on? And so we tried eliminating, issues. And so, like, for example, we used the pallet that was on the OG press and a totally different print arm. Well, now what happens? Trying to eliminate like what it could be. And we have somebody coming in from M&R in a couple of weeks to help fine tune and figure out exactly what it is, because we think we discovered it. And what it is, this is pretty interesting. So on the Cobras and also, I guess, the gauntlets, the print head and the screen comes down, right? So the pallets are level, the screen comes down. Well, when the screen comes down, it hits a certain part of that block where your frame is touching the tri-sync pallet. And then you lock that in, then you move to your next screen. And if the head comes down slightly different, 1/16 of an inch different, it's going to hit the frame. That block will hit the frame at a little bit different spot when you lock in. And so it's just slightly off. And so if your heads aren't coming down all at the same spot, and I mean, not by, it has to be like right on. It can't just be just sort of close. And so anyway, they're going to come and just re-reg all of our heads where they come down. And we think that's the problem because we've eliminated almost everything else. But like, it could be screen tension, or it could be, so many different things, and you just never know. And so like chasing down that issue is pretty tough, but it can be done. Like this is a problem that we're going to solve.
And it's funny because it's one of those things, I think, as an outsider looking at our industry, they think that like the actual act of like screen printing, like printing, when they're loading and pulling and the job is running, to me, that's like the easiest part of the whole thing. Like the hardest part is pre-press. Like, the hardest part is like dialing in, having great screens and EOM and, getting your ink viscosity right and your squeegees and flood bars and all these other things, and like, you know, how you're exposing the screens, and you're also like your registration. Like if you can chase those things and get those as dialed as possible, then like the rest is so much easier. Like that's what people should be chasing constantly, is like, how can I get my screens in better registration? How can I do this and that? And it's not necessarily the actual act of printing the t-shirts.
Yeah, running the press isn't too bad now. After a year, now we're pretty comfortable running it. But like you said, now a lot of focus is back on the other side, back on screens again.
Right.
But I started printing, you know, pretty late. I guess you guys were already started. So what was cool is I tuned into you guys and I was like learning the hacks, or I'd DM you guys like, hey, what do you guys, I got the mobile forge coming for my Volt. And you're like, well, we don't actually use that. We're using a roller, you know? And so I wanted to try both, and I ended up going to the roller anyway. The mobile forge was a drop down, and then it would actually move. So what was weird about that, we were just having a little bit of problems, and we just went to a roller. So a lot of like stuff that we were learning, like it was cool. We were just picking right up from you guys, and you guys have a lot more experience.
Yeah, it's just one of those, we're constantly learning too. It's one of those things. It's someone tries something, figures it out, and then shares it, and then we kind of all benefit from it. So it's nice.
I have a question.
Shoot.
And I think this is really appropriate since you served in the military. I think this is pretty interesting. I was listening to a podcast recently.
And thank you for that service, by the way.
Of course.
Thank you. So grit, can it be taught? Can you teach grit? If someone like is soft, let's say, is there a way to teach it?
I think that's just kind of what boot camp does. You know, not everyone comes into the military really mentally prepared for what's about to happen in boot camp. And that's kind of like some of the process of like getting you that grit. It makes you a soldier, you know, like my job in the military was to be a soldier. So that's kind of priority one. And that doesn't come, but you know, when you're fresh out of high school, you're not ready to be a soldier. You're not mentally prepared or physically. You can be in the best shape ever, but you're not in the right shape for the military. The government has like a boot camp is like such a great program. It's made to like mentally prepare you and physically for being a soldier. So I guess it's just a little bit different. You know, you put you through some live fire. They put you through, you know, no sleep, a lot of camping, fielding, exercises, all that stuff. So I think running a business will give you that grit, though. I mean, you kind of have to.
I was going to say, yeah, for sure.
You're just taking the punches every single day. You know, it's not too different than anything else. You kind of become hardened by certain things, and you learn from experiences, and it kind of gives you the grit too.
I was going to say the same thing. I feel like a lot of people who are entrepreneurs had not necessarily a bad childhood, but they had a little bit of a rough challenge, because they have that grit, because they just have been somewhat beaten down for so long that the challenges that come along with business, I feel like there's so many people that don't have a hard time, and then they're like, oh, I want to start a business, and then the first time something gets hard, they're like, oh, I can't do this. But like somebody who's had it rough, as soon as the challenge comes along, they're like, oh, this isn't a big deal. Like I could get through this. I can fucking eat ramen for 3 months straight. I can, you know, sell my car to pay for this DTG machine or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they're okay with the challenges. You know what I mean? They know at the end of it, it's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
So I feel like the grit is from getting punched in the face over and over again.
Some days you're beating your head against the wall, but usually it's always a problem you can overcome. I feel like beating the owner, everyone's always looking at you like, hey, what should we do to solve this, you know, essentially this problem. And I mean, you have to make those calls, and sometimes they're right, wrong, whatever. You just roll with it either way.
Is there anything in Gator Studios that you've taken from the military or from truck driving that have given you kind of like a better edge with this business?
Just customer relation, like a lot of like networking. We don't do too much marketing, if not any at all. I mean, a lot of my business comes from the motorcycle community, which I was like a part of. We were traveling around, riding in different cities, And I was just meeting people and motorcycle enthusiasts, which is cool about that. You can run into business owners, employees, and you have a good relationship with them. They remember you and they're like, hey, that guy does shirts, that guy does hats. Right. And that's been kind of actually the best marketing ever. If I had more, when my budget changes after my auto's paid off this year, I mean, my best marketing isn't social media or Google. It's probably for me to take $10,000 and go hit 3 major cities and go ride there. I'll get more business probably just from that. I'm selling, talking to myself, introducing myself, and that's what people like. And we're bonding because, I'm sitting next to a guy and I'm doing a wheelie and he's like, that's the guy that's printing my shirts, man.
I think that's what it is, though. That's what we always say, like, pick the niche market that Like, don't just go, like, say you're a military guy and you're like, oh, I'm going to go after like roller derby teams or something. You've never done that. You don't know anything about it.
That might be a good fit.
You can't relate.
Military and roller derby.
I probably should have picked a different one. Maybe a salon or something. I don't know. Either way, I'm just saying that, like, go for what you know. Like, the bike stuff. You can go after like truck driving stuff. It's like, the lingo to talk to that person.
Yeah, it's authentic.
Yeah.
Right. They're going to relate to you. Mm-hmm. So
that's probably the most helpful thing. Yeah, definitely. Just being able to relate to the customer or relate to that person, and then making them remember you too is like a big part of it too, I think. Like when they do want their uniforms, when they do want their decorated apparel, you want them to remember you, and have a good memory with you. Like, oh yeah, I met that guy, and it was like, yeah, he told me to do shirts, like, but they may not think about it, but hey, I met that guy, we had a good time, I remember laughing or whatever else. That's going to bring the business back to you or to you initially. That's what's been helping me a lot. It's just customer relationships. Like, been having fun with that. I'm realizing it's more priority too.
I wanted to take it back just for a second to what you said about boot camp, because it was sort of like you were describing detox in a way where you're like, you're used to one, or you're accustomed, you're right out of the house, maybe you've been living at home or whatever.
Mom making your sandwiches.
I was, yeah.
Doing your laundry, the whole thing.
Yep.
And then boot camp or detox, you like, they say, like, that's not how it's going to be. We have to change your way of thinking. And I think that a lot of times, when I first started, and I became an entrepreneur, I had my own business. Like, I wasn't prepared, honestly. Or maybe I was. Maybe I wasn't, I didn't know it, but I didn't go through any sort of formal training or anything. I just had maybe adversity, when I was a teenager and stuff. And so that gave me a little grit. And so I just think that whatever it was, if I didn't have it, you learn it. Like, if you wanted to, succeed, that was part of what Dylan was saying. Like, I think entrepreneurs have grit. I think the successful ones do. I think the ones that make it, you've got to have it, because something is you're going to get to a point where, like, you say, like, I want to quit, like, this sucks, whatever it is. I mean, working retail, I think that you can both agree, like, that's hard, just like making customers happy is hard. And so it's like, even if you don't have any employees, you got to make customers happy. And that's like it's a challenge. And so, like,
part of this whole thing.
Yeah, it's tough. And so I think that if you don't have grit, you've got to either go to boot camp or you have to start a business and survive like a year or something. And then you get it. And I think that it helps. It helps in your life. And I tried that with my son, even. Like, I wanted to spoil him because it's like, I love him so much. I wouldn't, like, whatever you want, I'm going to take care of you. But if you really love him, you have to realize
you have to be a dick.
Yeah, you got to say, too bad, you're cut off. Like, go figure it out.
I just went through this. Just did this.
Balance.
Yeah. I'll share this.
But yeah,
I'll share this because it is what it is. It's real life. But it's like, the other day, my daughter called me, and my son and daughter try to get out of school constantly. Like, every week, my son is fucking sick or something. And anyway, like, she called me the night before and was like, Dad, can I stay home from school tomorrow? I'm like, no, you have to go to school. You have like a month left. Just finish it off, whatever. And she just like kept asking over and over, probably 35 times or something. And I'm like, Lib, if you ask me one more time, I'm taking your phone away. And then she hung up on me and I was like, fucking whatever. Like, I don't want to deal with this. And then the next morning, I was expecting a fight to pick them up because I go to my ex's and pick my kids up in the morning every day for school. So I get there and it's just a shit show. Like she is fucking throwing a huge fit. She's not getting dressed, all this other stuff. And I'm the guy usually who caves. Like I'm usually like, all right, whatever, today only or something, you know, and I'll give in because again, like you said, like you love them, like you don't want to be the bad guy ever, whatever. So I'm trying my hardest to get like, because my kids are now teenagers, so I'm trying my hardest now to like toughen them up to a degree. So it's like I let into them all morning. Was like, nope, we're going. Like I will literally drag you to school in your pajamas. Like I'm not fucking around anymore. Like get dressed right now, or you are going to school in what you have on. And she finally got dressed. It was this whole thing. She was slamming doors, like everything else. And then in all of this, my son isn't saying a word. Like he's just kind of like getting dressed, comes downstairs. And then right as me and my ex are screaming at my daughter, basically being like, get fucking ready for school. My son walks up to my ex and is like, I'm not feeling so good. And I was like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Like, how are you trying to pull this right now? Like, what is happening? So anyway, like, I try to reason with them. Like I try to be like, dude, this is literally our job is to like keep you healthy and like safe and like educated and all this stuff. They don't give a shit at all. They say like, I don't care. This is stupid, whatever. So I drive them to school in complete silence. And then as soon as we pull up to the school, I kind of pulled up quick and stopped. And I was like, get out of my fucking car. Like I'm not fucking around. Just get out of my car. Like, I don't want to see you. I don't want to hear from you. Get out of my car. Just like all day. I'm like, my insides are eating, like I'm eating myself alive because I'm like, so I wanted to instantly call them and be like, I love you. Like, I'm sorry. I didn't want to yell at you, but you guys are dicks. Like all day it ate me alive. And then I ended up going downtown and I had some appointments or whatever. I got dinner. I ended up driving back through town at like 8 or 9 o'clock, called my ex and I was like, hey, can I come by the house and see the kids? She was like, yeah, it's fine. So I stopped by and like, they were both like, I'm sorry, Dad. I won't do it again. Like, I love you. And I was like, yes.
The
like,
tough love work.
Being a dick worked. But like, it's terrifying. Like, you don't want your kids to like hate you or not talk to you or fucking whatever. But it's true. Like, you have to be a dick. Like,
yeah.
I feel like the same goes with your employees, really. If we're trying to make a thing, is like you have to be firm and you have to say what's the real thing and not give in. And then they come back and they know now what not to do.
The tough love is definitely, it works. I've like hired on and off like part-time or paid some people cash to come in and help here and there. And like, yeah, sometimes you just have to let them mess up. Like, you know, if it's not going to be too serious on your end, you're like, okay, like, fine, just, all right, you won't listen to me, then do it your way, let them find out. And when you see them get back doing it your way, you kind of just smile a little bit, but you just, you know, they know and they understand.
Yeah. I don't know. You're going to have to be tough love with the new Dylan, Andy. Because he's going to want to, you're going to hear that name and you're going to want to give him all the world.
That's true. That's true.
You're gonna have to be mean to them.
That's gonna be hard. Yeah, I'm gonna feel bad. I'm gonna be like, get the fuck back to work, and then I'll feel bad inside. You're saying,
right? It'll eat your life.
So I'm curious, what is your biggest problem right now? So, like at your shop, Eddy, what do you like? What's the number one problem? It can be in production. It can like wherever it is. Doesn't matter. So, like, what's your biggest problem?
Transparencies, man. They're killing me. We're doing like kind of a lot. I would say we do anywhere from 3 to 5 setups a day, anywhere from 1 to 6 colors. And just that alone is just like the transparencies that we're going through. We use like a $200 Canon printer. It's a champ though. $200. I think we're going on our 3rd year with it and just pumping along.
Paid itself off in a day.
Oh, yeah. No question about it. We have a brand new one just sitting on the shelf with like brand new cartridges
like backup.
Ready. And it's just never been needed. Like it's just still going.
So why is it a problem then?
It's just slow. You know, just printing is slow. You can't like preload because they're cartridges and they're smaller cartridges. You know, every 6 or 8 transparencies, you have to refill some of the cartridges. We're on all black too. So that helps a little, but Really, we just want to speed up with direct to screen. So I'm just holding on to my little $200 printer until.
Dude, we talked about this. I feel like there was a chunk of our existence at Shirt Show where there was like a year where every episode we talked about fucking CTS. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it was over and over and over again.
We would
and then
talk
we
about
stopped.
how
We were like, let's not talk about this ever again.
we always used to like preach, the number one ROI for your shop.
Instant.
No brain.
It's one of those things like everybody fights it so hard. And then as soon I could make comparisons to this, but I won't because it'll be dirty and wrong. But you fight it, you fight it, and you fight it, and you fight it. But the truth is once you do it, you're like, I should have been doing this the whole time. Like, and it pays itself off within the year would be my like actual educated guess.
Yeah.
So
that's our next piece of equipment. We're trying to get our MEM dual in right now. So yeah, we've been doing a lot of DTFs too. So that's an easy one though. The direct to screen one though, that's next year. So we're done with our press payments October. So business is debt free. And yeah, we're going to move on into direct to screen. And then I think from there would be my second auto. So
that's probably a good way to go. Would you refute that at all, Amy? I think that's probably good. I would get direct to screen before I got another auto for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to go be debt free for an hour and then go into debt again with the CTS or. Okay. Well, enjoy that hour.
Yeah.
Dude, he's making fucking money. He's making money hand over fist with that fucking $200 printer. So
yeah, that thing's a champ. The cartridges, like alone, I mean, they told me I couldn't refill the cartridges, and we found
that's a lie.
No, it is. Yeah, just the Canon, you can clear the chips.
Like, you can go on eBay or whatever and
chip
get
reader.
Like empty cartridges with a chip reader, and you just syringe ink into all of them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Dude, did that for so long. Funny thing is, we had the iImage and we were having issues with the head, and we were down for like a week and a half. And we still have our Epson, I want to say it's at 4800 or 48. I think it's 4800. That was like the original, this is awesome 13x19 roll or sheets, whatever, film printer. And I've had that thing forever, probably 12 years now or something. And we used it for a long time. And then when we got our CTS, I ran like a cleaning fluid through the whole thing. And then we just shut it off. We were like, all right, here's a backup. If we ever need it, whatever. And then we didn't run it for, I don't know, something like 6-8 years or something. And right before we got the laser, we needed to use it because we had nothing. And we like literally did 2 cleanings on it, just 2 power cleanings to get the ink flowing through the whole system. And it printed flawlessly. Like 0 issues, like straight back to films. It was crazy. But even still, is that thing saved our ass? I never want to go back.
Now you're on laser too. So
yeah, the thing's
way different.
Yeah, I don't ever want to go back to anything other than that. Honestly,
try the Canon for like an hour.
$200, dude. I could just use it in my office and do some screen printing in there.
Yeah, for your paper when you go to the garage and start doing your posters or whatever, maybe a good printer.
You know what's funny is we have I think it's HP 400 in the office. It's a toner printer that we use for just our regular like paper, like printing invoices and all that stuff. And again, I didn't have a what's it called, pusher frame for the iImage for the 2024 frames for live printing. So what I was doing for a while is I just went to Staples and bought like transparency film, the kind that they use for like an overhead projector, like writing on.
Okay.
And I would just print one color designs on that 8.5 by 11 sheet through the toner printer. You'd have to do like one at a time. You couldn't print like multiple pages because it would get too hot and it would like melt the transparency. But if you printed it as like a distress print, you could use that to burn a screen and it was totally fine. So not recommending that, but if you are in a pinch, just go get that shit and print it. It's super thin. I've also printed 2 and taped them together so that I would get like a blacker.
Super dark.
Only for one color.
There's no such thing as super dark, but only for one color. Yeah. You wouldn't want to use it for multiple, but for live printing, it's perfect.
You know, they used to sell, to make it darker, this spray, because we used to use a laser printer and print onto vellum. And you would take the vellum and you'd have this spray, like not adhesive, but like
I bet it was
like
really good for you.
Yeah, you would just go psh, and then it would make all the toner darker on the paper. But what was really hard is just registration, because the fuser in those laser printers heats everything up and it expands and then contracts, and so like you never really, it was a challenge to get everything registered just right, but it worked.
Yep.
It did work.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's just a challenge with films generally. Even still, like you'll have some like random problems where like the image can kick off a little bit.
Yeah.
Once you go to direct to screen, I feel like it's always just like perfectly where you should need it. Hopefully.
Nothing's perfect. You're going to have issues here and there, depending. With every piece of equipment, you're going to have issues. It is definitely way faster, definitely way better quality, but you're still going to have stuff. It's just a whole nother set of problems. Like it's a whole nother set of shit to figure out. It's the same as like when you got the auto, you're like, oh, cool. Now I can print shirts at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Also too, you can fuck shirts up at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Sure do.
Like, exactly. Sure do. So it's the same thing. It's just a little bit faster.
Getting an auto in October was not a great move in Chicago because it's like winter. So what do you get? A ton of hoodie orders. Now I have a new auto and I have no idea how to run. I think we had like 3,500 hoodies in the shop ready to get printed. And I had no idea how to run it. And I was like, just beating my head against the wall. You're like, I want to just print them on the manual at this point almost. Mm-hmm. It's a little rough getting used to it. Like, especially when you're, orders pending, it's a lot different. The pressure's on you to actually get it out the door to that customer. So I think that's a little tough. I should have got my auto and printed T-shirts, not hoodies.
I recommend getting almost all new equipment in January, because then you got time to mess around with it while it's slow. Mm-hmm. Getting stuff in the middle. But again, like you said, like in Chicago in the winter, it was the same. Like we got our G3. There was literally a blizzard happening when the truck showed up, and we had to get it off the truck with a forklift, which is that's just the universe, again, giving you grit. Is
there you go. Yeah.
Anytime you want to do anything like that, there's always a blizzard or something sparked.
We had a press delivered in January, and it was the coldest day in St. Louis in 10 years. And it was probably like one, it was like one out.
Yeah.
And we were out there on the truck because we had a forklift, but the pallets, some of our crates were at the back of the truck that we had to like pallet jack so that we could even scoop it up with the forklift, because we weren't at a dock. We were scooping it off the truck and then driving it in. And so we had people that were pushing that had climbed over the crate and then pushed as we pulled with the pallet jack, and our feet actually froze. Like I might have had gangrene or whatever it is, because it was absolutely so cold.
Frostbite.
Yeah, it was awful. Mm-hmm. But there you go. Like you said, there's the grit. You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's one of those things. Kind of back to that too. Is it's like, I don't want to trash talk too much, but it's certain people that say that they can give you all this advice about business or whatever, and they've been in business for like 2 years, and it's like, dude, like to a degree, like you need like that gritty old man on a front porch. That guy's got stories. Like, that guy's going to help you survive in life, not the person who's like all bushy tailed and bright eyed. They're going to be like optimism. And it's like, nah, dude, you need that guy to like step on your throat on the lawn.
Humbly, no matter what, it'll happen, eventually you hit your problem, and, trucking was no different, it was going really, really great. And then COVID happened and then it didn't.
Yeah.
So,
well,
I feel like you need a little of both.
Yeah. Hey, so before we go to over-unders, I have a shop hack I want to share, and I don't know who came up with this. I saw it. It was shared in the Discord. And so somebody on Instagram has this where they took, how if you're printing in a long run and you get, shirt lint up in your screen, and you're like, it's just a problem, right? And so you've seen people come up with the ideas of, we're going to, roll it with some tack or whatever, or we're going to put tape up on the frame. And so when the shirt brushes against the tape and it grabs some of the threads and stuff like that. Well, anyway, they had imagine if you had a paint roller, just a handheld, paint roller, and you got a 9-inch nap, or actually you could get a 12-inch or whatever. You can get bigger naps, and then spray adhesive all over your nap, and then lower that roller, like they attached it to their print head. And so when shirt, when the pallet moved, it rolled, like the nap rolled over the shirt and then grabbed up the stuff. And I think it was working. I don't know how well. I want to talk to them, but that was
like fibrillation problems, like, you know, with the fibers.
Maybe,
the fibers up.
maybe they roll. Maybe they could roll it. I don't know how many heads they had on the press, but they had something figured out. And I was like, well, hey, I love
Got it to work.
yeah, I love when people, you know, DIY stuff like that. Cause, you know, we've all had those days where like, damn this, like we have to stop every whatever to try and clean out, you know, this lint off of the back of a screen. And so you try to, you know, come up with this solutions or whatever. And it's just interesting to see people.
The funny thing with that is though, is we've all seen all these like weird, like tape or like a roller or whatever, like people with lint rollers, like before the press spins and all this other stuff. And it's like, I've always seen those. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's kind of cool. That's a good idea, whatever. But I never actually fully put them into production because I feel like they try it and they're like, this doesn't seem practical. This isn't whatever. And it's like 9 times out of 10, if we have a job where it's a shirt that's just prone to having a fuckload of lint balls, we'll just make like 2 white screens, like 2 underbase screens. So that like if the first one prints and it's got a lint ball here or there, then the second one's going to cover it because the lint ball is never going to be in the exact same spot.
That's,
you know what I mean? Like it's going to cover it.
That's effective if you have room on your press. You know what I'm saying? So like if you've got the room, cool. But if your press is loaded up or whatever, and you just don't have the space for another,
or just every 5 seconds, you're like pausing the press and then half spinning and then picking lint balls out and then printing.
No fun.
Sucks.
I know some people are like rolling, right? Sometimes on fleece. Sometimes the people use their roller on head 1, you know, before it goes to white. Yeah, I heard that one before. I never tried it myself. It's just right after flash every time for me.
Well, if it's only fleece, if it's not a mixed job of, you know, shirts and fleece, if it's only fleece, nothing is going to be in head 1. We're going to flash because our flash is generally in head 2. So we'll flash in 2, roll in 3, and then it would print white in 4 would be our first white because we're trying to preheat that fleece to give it that, you know, so it can do its thing. Like it can move.
Also, you get that fibrillation from the flash. So rolling after that is,
however, if it's a t-shirt run, it's usually not with some fleece stuck in there. It'll usually go white in head 1 and flash roll in 3. And so what we'll end up doing in that case is we'll spin it once in a revolution without anything printing. The fleece will load in. Yeah, we'll do a flash roll in revolution 1, and then it'll print in head 1, the white, you know, like the t-shirts we're printing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it would usually, if there's just because these days with it getting ready to be summer, sometimes people will throw in, I need 10 hoodies too with my
hoodies.
or whatever it is. And then
I hate when people do that too.
We made a rule, I think last year, where we said no more for that.
No more
like
what?
If you no more like I need 100 shirts and 10 hoodies. It's like, or 5 hoodies, and we're not throwing it in with the rest. Yeah, it's like you want hoodies, you need a minimum.
Nice.
Interesting.
I like that.
Yeah. So it's like, no, I'm not throwing in like 3 on press where we have to spray the pallets and we have to change things out and we have to change the off contact and all these things. It's like, nah, dude, it's its own job. Like
it's
you
just,
want 100 shirts and 12 and 24 hoodies. Like,
so is that what you say? You're just like, nah, dude.
Nah, dude. Or if they want fucking 10 hoodies now, we'll do 10 in DTF. Like it's not getting printed with the rest of the teeth though. Nah, dude.
DTFs are so
you do you, but nah, dude.
All right. Overrated, underrated, or properly rated. Today we have 3. The first one is hypnotists.
I don't.
Have you ever seen a hypnotist or been hypnotized?
No. I have no experience with one.
I have.
don't even know if it's real.
No.
Have you? Yeah.
No fucking way.
Like, does it work? Does it do anything?
This dude was trying to pull like obvious tricks out. That was like, dude, this is this is not.
Nah, dude.
So he give you like your wallet after like so much time.
Yeah. He kept doing this thing where he was like, pretend you have a bowling ball in this hand and you have
Helium.
balloon. Yeah. Well, what was he saying? He wasn't saying helium though.
No, he had some other word.
He had he had a speech impediment or something. But anyway, he had a balloon and he was like, "Oh, hold your hands out and then like feel the weight of the bowling ball and feel the lightness of the balloon." And he was just wanting you to do this, and it's like every person just held like totally still and straight. And he was like, "All right, well that didn't work. Let's try this other thing." And he tried to be like, "Oh, your foot is so heavy, it's stuck to the floor," and like all he's like snapping and whatever. And it's like he's like, "All right, go ahead, try to lift your foot off the floor." And people were like picking their fucking knees up to their chest. And it's like, "All right, well that didn't work. Let's try this other thing."
And eventually
he tried putting people to sleep and stuff. And we have a video of it, but Scott is by far a trooper. Like he made Scott like get on the ground and like pretend to be asleep on the ground. And God, it was.
I was gonna say eventually he was bombing so hard that he eventually said, "I'm just gonna slip my wrist. I'm gonna go home and slip my wrist or whatever." And I was like, "Oh my God!" I go, "Scott, go up there and just like make him happy. Like whatever he says, get hypnotized. Just like do it."
What?
Is there an alarm going off? Is everything okay?
Yeah, there is. Sorry. I don't know where it's coming from. It's like a backpack in the office or something. Sorry.
It's he's got like a doomsday phone. He knows before the rest of us that the world is ending.
That's right.
I have my bunker and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
What's cool is like this is the property to be on. We're on like 3 acres. There's like a creek around us, forest. So we have like a lot of like wildlife and stuff over here. A good property to be on. If
there's no bugging out, there's like bugging in. Like you're just there. I like it. All right, so
drops through the floor.
What's your answer, Dylan, as far as hypnotist? Give us your overrated, underrated, and then what's yours, Eddie?
Super overrated. So it's hilarious to watch, but it's not real.
Yeah, I don't. That was my first question. Oh, is it real? You know.
Well, he even told us at the end or whatever. He's like, "Oh, it's more for people who want to believe that this is real." Like he was just like, because he knew none of us gave a fuck. Like he was basically like, "This is for people who come to this like thinking they're going to get hypnotized, and they kind of like talk themselves into like going along, basically, and then they somewhat believe or do the shit that he says." And he's like, "You just need to be like submissive to the idea of being hypnotized." And it's like, yeah, none of us are that person, dude. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
He said that he ended up in Phoenix from New York, and he was the #1 real estate salesman in Manhattan or something like that.
The #1 liar.
And so I imagine he used, because he was talking about sales and stuff, you know, like, "Oh, you know, this is how it's sort of hypnotizing and sort of like convincing somebody to, you know, selling them something." And because he knew we were all, T-shirt, he knew what we did. He somehow knew what I can't remember how, but he must have asked or something. He knew
he was trying to relate, and he was bombing harder.
Yeah. Also, one more story to share real quick is that we all went out to eat to this on Cinco de Mayo to this Mexican restaurant, and this it ended up that the owner came in and he was like, "Hey, so what?" Yeah, he was really nice, but he goes, "What do all you guys do?" And somebody said, we're in T-shirts, and he thought we said we were teachers. And so for like 5 minutes, he was talking to us like we were teachers, and we're like, "No, it's T-shirts." And so he was like, oh, okay. And then he ended up needing T-shirts. And then we all were gonna like.
We all
Dylan.
pointed to Eric. We were like, "Yeah, Eric's nearby. Just hit him up." The thing is I totally forgot about that. But that dude was hell of a like. He did a really good thing. Like he came in, said he was the owner. Like he didn't say he was the owner at first. Like he was just giving us great service. He was just like filling our glasses, like talking to us.
Well, tell him why though. Tell him why, because they ran out of steak. So they ran out. It was Cinco de Mayo, and they ran out of steak. And the server came back in, and she was just like, "Hey, I'm so sorry, but anybody who ordered, like steak tacos or whatever it is, we have to change that to something else." And then he came in after that because he knew like our whole room, whatever, had to change their stuff.
Yeah, it was like whatever, 15 people or something. But anyway, he was great. Like he was exactly what he should have been in that instance. He came in, he bullshitted with us for like 20 minutes, and then he was like, "Oh, round of shots on me for everybody." And then
super cool.
He was just a good dude. Like he was all about it. He wasn't just like, "Oh, let me take care of you," and then he walked away and some server came and did it. Like he did it all himself. It was really good.
Running your own business, you definitely see it too. Like you see it a little faster, I think, than some other people when like other owners are trying when you're out.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you go to another business, you can just see it a little bit better. Like they're genuinely trying for me. I could see that, you know, you just pick up on it a little faster, which is cool.
You know, in that
too.
In the spirit of that, being a business owner and picking up on those kinds of things, you know what's the worst for us, I feel like, is the automatic tipping. Like you go to pay for anything and they turn it and they're like, you can tip here. I'm like, you didn't do a fucking thing. Like you did literally not.
Worst thing. Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not tipping.
I joke here, and at our front counter, we're just going to say, here's your tip, and you can choose 10, and it's on there already. 10, you know, like 15%, 20, or 25. Like you choose. It's
Right.
up to you. Those are the three choices.
That's pretty much what they do. Yeah, I was just like
Subway. Like we're in Chicago, so like Subway will ask you, you know, like hey man, I just bought like a drink and you know, I just want chips or whatever. Like no tip, you know. I don't know. Everyone in Chicago is asking, and then a lot of the bigger places automatically put gratuity right away, you know, and then you're like, well, it already has 20%. And, you know, for all you know, you could be double tipping and you don't even really realize it at some of these big restaurants.
Mm-hmm. There's a dude in my town. It's this Italian restaurant on the corner. I go there all the time. Everybody in my town basically knows who I am, like, anyway, just because it's such a small town. But like, that dude is the only person I've ever encountered where I always order a pizza on Friday for my kids, like pizza and wings, whatever. I go in and he has that tablet, whatever it is, like Toast or, you know, Square or whatever the tablet is. And I order the stuff and he swings it around for me to sign with my card. And before he swings it, or like halfway swings it, he hits like no tip. Like he's like, he doesn't swing it and like wait for me to do my own thing. He's just like, nah, fuck that shit. And he hits like no tip. Like, he's the only person I've ever seen do that, and I respect it every time. If anything, I would say it would be more like impactful for me if you added the tip thing to your business, knowing full well that you told your staff to hit no tip. Like to me, that sets it over. Like even if you didn't have it, it's even better if you had it, but then immediately said no tip, and we're like, no tip, don't worry about it. You'd be like, that'd be like the new hero thing. Be like, that's a sales tactic. They make them want to come back because they're like, these people don't need my tip. They're fucking awesome.
You don't have to donate to a charity. You know, you don't have to go through all the questions.
Yeah. Everywhere you go to Arby's and they're like, do you want to donate your change to kids who can't read good? And it's like, no.
So you
I'll make chicken tenders.
And donate it under your name, you mean, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We're trying to teach those kids that can't read good. We're going to teach them grit. So no, they're not getting it.
Some grit. Exactly.
I'm going to go with hypnotists are underrated because it is comically entertaining. So just do it because you will have memories. Not so sure there'll be great memories, but you're going to have some memories. All right.
There's a try.
Number 2, home food delivery. I don't know if I worded that right, but basically you go on an app and you fill a cart with groceries, and then that grocery store or somebody brings you those groceries. So do you think that's...
we use it time to time.
Okay.
It's not like... I would say we use it probably once every 3 months. Like if we just get wrapped up at the shop, you know, and we just don't have time, you know, it's just a lot easier sometimes. Like those groceries can be, we're leaving the shop in an hour. The dryer's cooling down already. We're already in our shutdown process. Let's just shoot the groceries there. And it's just nice and easy. I think like sometimes it's convenient, but like, I don't know. I like to go get my stuff too.
Yeah. I think it's amazing when you travel. Like we travel a lot, Andy, and it's like we're in a hotel room. It's fucking 10 o'clock at night, and you're watching Shark Tank, and you're like, "I want Domino's."
Okay,
like,
I don't mean like DoorDash for bringing you hot food.
You're talking just straight fucking groceries.
Yeah.
Groceries. Yep. I just groceries only.
Go to the fucking grocery store.
I would say
Thank you.
Definitely want to go. My
It's
girlfriend like is
It's the worst with groceries because you put in all these foods you want, and then they actually deliver it, and they charge you like an extra 20%, and then they charge you all these other fees to get it, and then you open the bags, and half of the shit is the wrong food because they couldn't find the right one.
Yeah.
They
substituted stuff.
They don't even ask you sometimes. They will substitute.
Also, I want to pick out.
No, it's Fox. Don't chime in. Quiet over there.
I knew Christina.
She's going to chime in because she uses it nonstop.
I knew it. I knew she would. I knew she would. But here's the thing.
Hold on. She does have a good argument with this. She does save money, and it is true. You do to a degree.
So how would you save money?
you pay more in the fees, but you save money because you're not like impulse buying.
Oh, well,
Like if
so,
she knows,
like,
if she knows this is the food I need for these meals, she orders it.
I
When you
want
go
to
to the
impulse
grocery
buy.
store, right? But I'm saying you go to the grocery store, you're like, oh, I want those cookies. Oh yeah, I do want more strawberries. I do want this thing.
Yeah.
So you might spend an extra $100 impulse buying.
So yeah, I want that.
Where she might spend $25 in the convenience fee.
Also, I want to pick out my broccoli and I want to pick out my green pepper and my cucumbers because nobody's fucking picking out a cucumber like I can. And then the next,
he's not kidding. He's not even. I've been
not,
to 4 stores with Andy just looking for cucumbers.
You got to get the right ones. And then the next thing I will say, I will share just a little story. And that I went to lunch in Phoenix with a few people, and TC was one of them. And TC's a great guy, and he embraces technology. And I am a Generation X person, and apparently I might as well. I'm almost dead, like to TC, I think, because he thinks that I don't even know what an iPhone is. I'm assuming and stuff like that. Like I don't know. Like I don't know.
He has the iPhone, but everything it's on like 240 Zoom, where like the text is like,
So here's the funny story: is that TC's like, oh, I've got, because he was going to make lunch on the next day, and he's like, oh, I've got all of the, the meals ordered. It's going to be delivered to our house 1 hour after we leave here, after we check into the house. 1 hour, it's all delivered. I'm gonna go, well, did you order water by chance? Because I was going to stop. I was with John, Logo Daddy. I was like, we're going to stop and get some water on the way because it's a desert, right? We need some water. And he's like, no. I said, okay, well, can you call him or something? Or he goes, call him? Like, what do you mean? I'm just going to add it to the order. Like, you don't call these people. I'm like, okay, cool. Add it then. Whatever, man. I don't care. Whatever you got to do. And so he goes and he's like fiddling around or whatever. And then 20 minutes pass. And he's like, oh, I couldn't add it. So maybe if I don't know why, he's just like, couldn't add it. And I was like, okay, well, that's weird. Maybe you should have called him. And I was just joking about that, right? And then so we get in the car because TC's now going to ride with us. We get in the car and he goes, uh-oh. I go, what? And he goes, oh, they canceled my order. It just got canceled. Willy-nilly got canceled. I'm like, oh, so you mean we got to go to the store like old fucking people? It was beautiful. It was like one of the most beautiful things that ever happened. Like ever. That's just that to play out like that because they were making fun of me.
In redemption for Tyler, though, he is by far the best person to hang out with if you want to go somewhere to eat. He knows the good spots. He knows the good meals. He has the connections. Like he's the reason why I've gone to Vegas a few times is just to fucking eat meals with Tyler.
We used to call him Mr. Vegas because he knows the spots. And in defense of Tyler too, he's a great guy, and in technology, I like too. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think that you're trying to save time where you have busy lives, and we own a business, and that's why Dylan makes fun of me. But I don't cut my own grass. I know it's like very lame and unmanly. I used to. Like, I had a writer. I cut my grass. It looked like perfection.
I almost didn't fly here a day early because I wanted to mow my lawn because it was perfect conditions.
Yeah, well, I decided to eliminate that one thing from my life because hey, it's I have other things to do. And
did you see Joe's commercial he made?
I did, yeah.
Instagram, it was pretty good.
Talking about Gorilla Joe, he was cutting grass really wrongly or something, and it said, "Hey, anybody
to trade?"
Yeah. He wanted to trade his.
He's like, anybody want to trade lawn mowing for shirts? Hit me up.
That's smart.
It's like mowing grass that's just like way too high.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it needed to be mowed like 10 times ago.
Back to this home food delivery. I think it's overrated. I think that you should go to the store. And it should just be a thing. I enjoy being at the grocery store at the right time. Don't go on like a Saturday, obviously. That's maybe a little rougher. But go at the right time and then choose like your nutrition. Choose the things that you're going to make and eat. It's fun. Like that's
I do like.
I don't know. I like it. I really like it.
But
we go weekly, like our family. Like I take like me, my girlfriend, our daughter. We all just go. That way, everyone gets to pick out their snacks. Their shop snacks. There's like. It's just a little bit different. We stock up for both the shop and the house, and it's just easier to go weekly.
The biggest thing for me is meat and bread selection. Like, I'm picky when it comes to like roasts and stuff. Like, I want to make sure it's like the one I want.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Check the dates. Like you pick it up and you're like, oh, this one expires tomorrow. I don't want that. I'll take the one that expires like 5 days from now. That kind of stuff. I mean, that's just, it's It's logical. Common sense. Okay, so number 3, last one, hot tubs.
There's one right outside. They're fun. I like for my muscles. I would say they're properly rated. Because hot tubs are fun. You know, people party in them. People use them to relax for muscles. You know, stuff like that. I'd say properly rated.
Should I say public hot tubs? Should I change it? I mean, public like
story. That's
like
different.
hotels or Airbnbs or whatever, just hot tubs. I don't know. There's two.
I don't do it.
No, there's too many bodily fluids in that thing.
We go on cruises a decent amount, and I like never touch those hot tubs. I don't know any of those people in there. No thanks.
It's just a soup. It's other people's soup you're in.
100%.
That's exactly what it is. I had one at home. Like I kind of grew up with one.
Awesome.
My dad had one at his house, and then when I got my house finished, I went and bought a brand new one, and I had one at the house for a long time, and I had a really sore back, and it was nice. I would say though, I only like to use it in the winter time. I would never use it in the summertime at all. We shut it down.
Yeah,
so
totally.
I only used it when there was snow on the ground.
When we were in Phoenix, the pool was just a little chilly, so I got up in the hot tub. There was a few people in it, and I'm like, this is hot.
Dude,
like
everyone was saying that the pool was cold, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This is like 80-degree water.
It wasn't
hot.
80. It wasn't 80.
This is warm as hell.
Well, the hot tub was hot. I hated it.
Wasn't good.
I would say public ones. Yeah, no, stay away from those.
Stay away.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I'm going to go with hot tubs are overrated. If you want to relax and you're good for your muscles, just take a bath. Go in your bathroom and run your bathtub, and then get in your bathtub, and then it's there and it's clean and it's fresh, and you can.
I would say underrated if it's at your own home.
Yeah, what happens when it's right outside the shop? You know, it's like 20 yards away next to a fire pit. That's our situation over here right now.
You're just fucking sitting back in the hot tub, having a drink and watching your wife burn boxes.
You should have done the pod from the hot tub.
Yeah.
That would be different, right? I'd probably have okay internet right there. It's right outside the window right here. So it's kind of funny. So,
well, on that note,
actually down.
Yeah. Thanks so much for doing this with us, dude. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for
inviting me. I hope you end up with that plan. Like you said, you want to go, milk that $200 printer, get that CTS, get that other press, and we'll talk again when you get all that shit going.
Yeah, if you guys are ever around, you guys can stop in. I'm kind of around Andy a decent amount in like the St. Louis area, so I gotta poke my head in there one day.
Yeah, anytime.
But not to upstate New York area ever.
It's okay. I'm in Chicago fucking a few times a year, I feel like. And next time I come, I won't even need a rental car. I'm just going to go to Turo just to get one.
Yeah, you'll see it. I mean, yeah, you can just literally come here and just pick right up. Yeah, right from the shop. You'll see the shop, pick your car, and you'll be good to go.
That's awesome. That's really good. All right, dude. Well, have a good day. We appreciate you.
You guys have a good one. Thank you guys for having me.
Later.
Thanks, Eddy.
See ya.